Lucy.
You're going.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. We are so glad to see you here. They threw me in to do this, like whatever.
So glad.
So we've got Shelly and Jason here from Kentucky Sustainable Living, and we have
Nicole.
Come on, introduce yourself.
I'm Nicole Sauce from Self-Reliance Festival.
And
we are Bobby Spags and Patrick Henry from Midwest Preparedness Project.
Patrick Henry.
Eventually.
So we wanted to get on here and let you all know how the festival went. We had the Kentucky Sustainable Living Homesteading and Preparedness Festival this last weekend, which was awesome. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to begin. We had Angry American was there, the guy that writes the Survivalist series. We had Angry Prepper. You know what? There seems to be a lot of angry people in the preparedness community. I don't really understand that, but I will tell you this. If you go to these festivals and meet these guys, they are some of the nicest guys that you will ever meet. Angry Prepper is amazing. Angry American is the same. Him and his wife are just wonderful, wonderful people. So you need to come check those out because I think Angry American is going to be at SRF, right?
Yeah, so Angry American will be at Self-Reliance Festival and selling books, and he'll be there with his wife, of course. And we're stoked to just have him talk about common sense preparedness. We've got Joel Riles, we've got Toolman Tim Cook. So a lot of the people that were there are going to be at Self-Reliance Festival, and it's going to be, you know, another really good time. Basically, I just got off, like, we have a weekly meeting with the team who coordinates it Thursdays right before this. And usually I'm like, I have half an hour and I'm out. Well, this is our last Thursday before the event because next Thursday we're at the event. And I was like, well, I'm just going to go as long as I can until this live stream happens. And it is what it is. So we were just talking through every single detail of the thing. So I'm actually really looking forward. There's a digital sovereignty guy who talks about opting out of the big tech giants with your technology. So that's going to be a pretty fun presentation.
Sean's an awesome guy. He was at ours, and I got to sit down several times and talk to him. And I'm just like, man, a lot of that stuff I never thought about. And he brought a lot of stuff to light. We're probably going to have him back again next time just because he barely scratched the surface on it. And he told me, he's like, I could talk for 8 hours straight on this stuff and longer. And
he will blow your mind. I mean, I don't know. You walk away from that either energized to fix everything or going, oh my God, because there's so much. It's absolutely crazy. I mean, when he talks to you about, like, what is it? AirPods, what they do to your brain, like, it's jacked up. Yeah. One of the things that I want to remind everybody about, so the Great American Preparedness Tour, our 3 events, we gave out, I don't know, probably almost half of the poker chips that we had. So some of the people that, yep, absolutely right there. Remember to get your knife, the Mora knife, and I was showing off the engraving for the Great American Preparedness Tour that's on there. It's engraved. To get that knife, you have to go to SRF. Am I pointing in the right way? You have to go to SRL, Self-Reliance Festival, and then you have to go to Midwest and get those poker chips. And then sometime around Christmas, you will receive your prize.
Okay, so keep talking. I'll go grab a knife. Do you have one there? Do you have it there?
I don't have it with me.
I'm gonna go get one to show people, but you guys gotta talk while I'm gone.
Deal.
So the knife is really cool. Like Nicole, she brought. I guess you all sent her some knives and she got them engraved or whatever, but she brought us one of the knives. And
I'm a Mora knife vendor, so we got those from them, and that's what we're going to use.
I took it home before Jason could get his hands on it because I wanted it.
Well, I bought from one of the vendors. I bought a brand new Mora knife because I was like, I want a brand new razor sharp knife to dispatch this lamb. So and man, I tell you what, those things, for as cheap as they are, they're a hell of a knife.
They are sharp looking. I mean, they're just
they are laser engraved, carbon steel. They're awesome.
Limited edition.
Yep. We're going to only have so many of them. So if you want one of these Great American Preparedness Tour knives, you've got to go to all 3 and collect up the tokens from all 3.
And it comes
And we're not handing them out at the gate.
Slips on your belt and everything.
Yeah. So Self-Reliance Festival, you got to get them from me or from Dawn Sutton, who will be at the information booth, or from Amanda Willis. Those are the 3 who will have them.
It's kind of like becoming a Mason, but like different. You know, to become one, you have to know
It's
one.
our own little underground network.
It really is. You have to do like the weird handshake.
You're like, do you have the knife?
Oh, there you go. That's it.
Yes.
Are you the keeper of the knife?
Right.
She showed it.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Give
Look,
me
guys,
the
the Mora knife is the last cheap knife you will ever need. I don't care what anybody says. Carbon steel blade, easy to sharpen as long as you keep it treated with a little bit of oil or some bullet bomb, which we'll talk about later. It will never rust. And I personally have been using Mora knives for probably, since 2014 when Blackthorn USA introduced me to them. And I've used the same one that entire time. And I've butchered pigs, cows, chickens, geese, turkeys, deer, everything with it. Just put a new blade on it or put a new shine on it and go.
So I have a question for everybody. What's one thing in the homesteading and preparedness world that you think people who haven't been sort of in it for a while are not ready for? Like just haven't thought about that maybe they could start working on. We'll just go around the horn. You can start, Bobby, because you're like all there.
Oh, yeah. It's something that I've been talking about for a little while and recently met someone who's going to be talking about it. That's feminine hygiene and at-home birthing. Everything involving the hygiene of women. No one talks about it because it's not fun. It's not an AR-15. It's not a bug out bag. It's not a Jeep or a Humvee, but it will absolutely save your life to know this information.
We actually had a vendor at our festival that makes stuff for that.
I heard.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
Hidden Cycle Apothecary was the vendor, and she makes reusable feminine hygiene products. And people were pretty excited about it. There was a lot of people stopping by her booth and picking stuff up.
I talked to her for like 45 minutes. Yeah. Because that is something that people don't think of. And then I was like, if you had a puppy pad, then we could like apply it to our animals. Because I don't have a human baby right now. I have a baby sheep in my living room. And we are.
Why is it not on film? Why is it not on camera right now?
I mean, it can be. Tactile can go get, because I don't want to get pooped on.
You really get pooped on for your audience? Come on.
He's like, I did that in my 20s.
First day of life, she nailed me twice, man.
Whoa.
Oh, there's been lots of sheep in my living room.
Oh,
yay!
This is
Stormy.
Tactical in the house to the rescue.
What's up,
What's her
Tactical?
name?
We still don't know if she'll live past another week because we don't know how much colostrum she got on day 1.
Yeah.
But if she got enough colostrum, then we're looking pretty good. She's vibrant right now. So we gave her a name. Her name is Stormy.
Aw.
And she likes to snuggle, and she really likes it when I give her bottles.
She's so
Probably
cute.
she doesn't actually usually poop on you anymore. She's like kind of like a dog. She's learning how to hold it, and
There you go.
which is I didn't know sheep could do that, but there you go.
Well, now you know.
So she was a
That's my answer.
triplet. That's what
Yeah.
happened. So a lot of times you end up with bottle babies because of a deformity. She's perfectly healthy. She just was one of 3, and mom was like, "I'll take 2, but not 3." So yeah.
Now, at our festival, we saw this time a lot of new people that are just getting into the space, whether it be homesteading or preparedness. And it was a lot of people that are like, I want to get started, or I just now took the first step into it. So a lot of the conversations I had was, where do I need to start? So, I mean, I would talk to people and I'm like, let's start with square one. And we would work from square one and just start going on. You know, once you get step 1, then we'll take step 2. And take it, in baby steps. Don't run out. And a lot of people see it. It's like, I've got to have a year food supply. I've got to have 30 guns. I've got to have a Humvee. And then I've got to have 100 acres to farm.
No,
on.
you need a cheap Mara knife.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's engraved.
And that's the bad thing. People just get overwhelmed. I'm like, if you take the baby steps, it's not a big deal. Just like Dave Ramsey, paying off all your debt. Make little victories and then keep going on to that.
Well, and one of the guys he's actually in our KSL group. His name's Lawrence. Lawrence, if you're on here, hey. He did a demonstration on how to make apple cider vinegar. I had never made apple cider vinegar, and it just blew my mind how easy it was. I know y'all have probably done that, but I was just sitting there going, oh my God, I'm going to go home and do this. Lawrence says all the time that, he's like, his goal is to just take one thing that he doesn't have to go to the store and do. One thing. So he's just like, if I can make apple cider vinegar for myself and my animals, that's one less thing I have to buy at the grocery store. If you look at it that way, it's just taking those little steps, and gradually you're just going to keep learning stuff and doing stuff, learn a little, do a little. So I love his philosophy about that. And that way it's not so overwhelming to people.
Yeah. That's really true. And I think that's what I would say. What I think is underrepresented in the prepper and homesteader movement. Two things. One, stuff goes wrong. Especially if you are homesteading and have livestock, like stuff goes wrong and you're in trouble if you're not prepared mentally to do that. And mental health is not something we talk about much. Right. So we have a lot of veterans in our network, right, who have PTSD and other mental issues. And, some people say on the one hand, like, man up, but on the other hand, like, learn how to work through your mental health issues so you don't have them if there is a problem, because the healthier you are here and in your body, the better off you are. And none of that has to do with food storage or training or any of these other really fun things. Do the fun things for sure, but also look at the hard stuff. And it can start with just getting your body right by starting for a walk every day. We had a guy at Self-Reliance Festival last time. It was when we did the 5-day webinar thing where he came out and he was like, what do I do to when I'm not feeling, mentally well? And Willis was like, get your body in order, because he was kind of big. He left and he has posted a video every day of himself doing push-ups and walking up and down stairs and shrinking in size, because whenever he's feeling not happy, he goes out and works out.
Yep.
And it makes a difference. And as those things come together, you realize like there's a lot of good stuff in our lives, even when we're like, a bridge just got knocked over by a tanker or whatever, I heard that happened.
Yeah, something like that.
Apparently.
You are 100% right, Nicole. When I was still in the Army, I went to a place called NTC, the National Training Center. It's in Southern California. It's a shitty place. It's hot. It's dry. And when we showed up there as a unit, we had no mission. So we sat in this tent for about a week with nothing to do. And I got really angry about it because I was that angry troop who was always like, I need something to do. I need something to kill. I need something to wring the neck of, right? My lieutenant, who was a smart guy, looked at me and said, Spags, go out there and dig a fighting position. Do it right now. And of course, I'm like, yes, sir. And I saluted. And I ran out there, took my top off, and I'm out there with a shovel just digging for about 2 hours. After about 2 hours, I had dug an 8-foot trench, lined it with sandbags. I filled myself, put plywood over it, lined it with rocks, and had built the best fighting position in the world. And I was like, man, I feel good. And my lieutenant came out and said, how you feel, Spags? I'm like $1 million, sir. And I was all like hyped up because listen, man, you're right. Mental health matters and endorphins are real and you get them through hard labor. It actually is a thing.
Yeah, we were on a live stream this week with An American Homestead. So Zach from An American Homestead. And he kind of mentioned that when we took work out of life, people just sort of met.
Yeah.
Yeah. And doing the hard stuff, I'm bad about it. If there's stuff that I know that I don't want to do, I put it off as long as I can. And then once you do it, you're like, man, I've been putting this thing off for 2 weeks and it took me 15 minutes. And then once you get it done, the dread and worrying about it is gone. And you're like, man, that did not take that long. I should have done that 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
Yeah.
So jump in, even if it's going to hard and be sucky. I mean, jump in and do it and just get it done. And then you can move on with, the easy stuff. If you get the hard stuff done, the easy stuff's gravy after that.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's
100%.
it. That's one of the things that if you ever watch tag stuff, that's one of the things he preaches is putting that stake in the ground and just picking something and then just running with it.
Yep.
Stop being paralyzed by the choice or the problem of making the choice, and just make the damn choice. Go left, go right. It doesn't matter. Just go and find that thing and drive into it. And then wash, rinse, repeat if it didn't work out.
Yep.
For sure.
100%. 100%. Jordan Peterson, one of my favorite commentators of the 21st century, says it best. We put happiness as our driving goal, and that's what caused depression, because we didn't realize happiness comes through hard work. It comes through suffering. You have to suffer to understand and how to properly appreciate happiness. If all you know is happiness, you just get complacent, fat, and lazy, right? But if you suffer, if you go out and do the hard thing and you hurt, at the end of the day, when you get into your memory foam mattress, you're like, this is happiness.
Yeah, you enjoyed it. You
right?
actually can appreciate it.
Yeah, you get the fruit of your labor. And I know that that's a cliche, and I know it's kind of a simplistic way to look at it, but suffering actually can lead to happiness. And I'm a firm believer that you don't even deserve happiness unless you do the hard thing.
Does that count if you're like one of those self-deprecators that beats yourself?
Yeah.
Yourself?
I mean, you're not wrong. Yeah.
So I used to coach corporations in how to tell story powerfully. So I'm a professional storytelling coach. And the hardest thing to get people to do in those sessions was talk about the negative side of the story. And if you think about every good movie or book you've ever read, it's almost all about the struggle until at the very end something happens and they figure it out, right? Their motivation is the hard stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that actually tracks with life, where the lessons we learn the best are in fact not the happy lessons. It's filled with struggle and work and tragedy, and then you're like, I have a solution, and then you're like, and I know this for the rest of my life because I had all of that negative stuff.
Yep. That you went through. Yeah. Embrace the suck, as Kiri Torgler said.
Yep.
Gary, my son bought that cheesecake dip from her booth. He has already eaten all of it. And he's like, Dad, can you call her and get some more? I was like, I'll see what I can do. So
She makes this bacon jam, and
that stuff is great.
I went up to my booth, and my granddaughter is sitting there with like you take the, you can put the jam on cream cheese, you can put on meat, cook with it, whatever you want. I go up to my booth, and my granddaughter's sitting there with a spoon just eating that stuff out of the bowl or whatever. And I said, can I have some of that? And she was like, no. Wouldn't share with nobody or anything. She loved it.
So I came home with a container of that, and the first thing I did was take a spoonful of it to taste it, and the second thing I did was make deviled eggs and put it in the deviled eggs.
Yes.
And it was over. And then I gave like deviled eggs to I made 20 deviled eggs. Like I made a ton of them. Everybody loved it.
I saw those pictures on social media, and I've been craving bacon jam deviled eggs ever since.
Well, you can get them next weekend in Camden, Tennessee.
She's gonna be
if you get there fast enough.
Go get some.
Yeah.
Join the tour, folks. You won't be disappointed.
Yep. Get your bacon jam. Put it on the biscuits. Taste the biscuits.
Okay, I do have an SRF question here I'm going to answer. Is there anywhere close to camp if I come down to a Self-Reliance Festival Wednesday night? I have a camper van. So if you go to selfreliancefestival.com under FAQ, it lists campsites and such. If you want to park your van in the parking lot, the gas station owner who's like right at the entrance to SRF may charge you $10. Like we may have to charge you 10 or $20 for that. But you can stay there for the whole weekend if you want to. There is one other RV there. If you want to do that, email me, Nicole@livingfreeintennessee.com, and we'll get you set up.
Awesome. So Jason and Shelly, what other cool things happened at your event this weekend?
We processed a sheep.
Yeah, we
Cool.
did a lamb. It is not 100% done. I've still got it sitting over in my stand-up cooler. I got two leg of lambs to finish up. Is about all I've got to finish up, and it will be in the freezer. But we did that. That went great. Emily had her milk cow, and Emily had a whole stinking petting zoo there. The kids absolutely ate that up. She had a few sheep. She had a little mini pig, rabbits, all kinds of stuff. Yeah, she had her milk cow and then had a little bottle calf there. Tons of vendors. I mean, we had 2 to 3 times the vendors we had last time. I think we had close to 60 vendors, somewhere around there. People loved all the different stuff. I mean, we had everything from homemade soaps and tinctures, all your smell good lotions, all that stuff, all the way up to a hoop house company. John Deere was there. We had freeze dried food. Grumpy was there selling freeze dried stuff. Kirby Provisions was there. They're in the network and everything. He was selling stuff. We had a water filter company that was there. It was an awesome water filter. Actually, Jason Angry Prepper took one of those home as a demo unit to try out, and he's going to be doing some experimenting with it. So
Nice.
Cool.
It was good this year. The vendors were awesome. Everybody seemed happy, and people came in and they're like, I can't believe how many different vendors you've got with all this stuff. And it's like we could find kind of whatever you wanted there.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. I remember the vendor floor when we were there last year, and it was fun, but it looked like you guys had it well stocked this time.
Oh, very well stocked.
Fun. It was badass. So
yeah, Bobby, there was 2 to 3 times the vendors that we had last time.
Yeah, I'm sorry I couldn't make it, man. But the traveling maybe this fall. This fall, our plan is to save up and go to these things.
Yep. You're not that sorry.
No,
I mean you're sorry.
I really am. I didn't get to beard tickle with you. So yeah, I'm very sorry.
True. It's true.
Hey, we had all kinds of bourbon here. I mean, you would have had a good time. I've still got bourbon left too.
Okay. Don't tempt me with a good time.
You don't have to twist.
Wait. The Kentucky event had bourbon.
Yeah.
A lot of bourbon.
Mind blown.
Oh no. Nicole feels left out.
No, I don't. They invited me, and I was like, I can't come because I have a bottle lamb, and it's all of my time. Right? We were on the 2-hour feeding cycle last weekend.
Yeah.
She went 5 whole hours without food last night.
And
what special events did you have this time, Jason?
We wound up not doing a charity dinner. It wasn't going to go over this time. I don't know what happened with it. So the charity dinner was not done this time, but, we did, a bunch, everybody hung out, Friday night, Saturday night, did some stuff like that to where we could actually talk to the speakers and vendors and stuff like that. So that was about the only special stuff we did.
But this year we had demonstrations this time. Last time we didn't do that. We just had speakers. And so this year we set up a demonstration stage at the other end of the vendor area, which was very beneficial to the vendors. That ended up being a fantastic thing. And having those people get up and do like Gary Golding did. He taught people how to create a bug out bag that you could get on an airplane. We had somebody do a sourdough demonstration. Lawrence did apple cider vinegar. EJ Snyder went down and talked about situational awareness and that kind of thing. What else? I can't.
The Naked and Afraid guys kept their clothes on all weekend.
Yeah.
So that was.
I was gonna say, were they naked and was everyone afraid?
I'm gonna admit I did not want to see them naked, so I was pleased that they stayed in their clothes.
Yeah,
but it wasn't Naked and Afraid Dad Bod edition.
Yeah, and then like the lady that did the sourdough demonstration, she came over and told me this was like mid afternoon on Saturday. She goes, I had to put about half my sourdough bread that I had just to have it for Sunday. Wow. And I was like, holy cow. I was like, you sold that much? She goes, yeah. She said, I was afraid I was going to sell out and not have anything to sell on Sunday. So she pulled some back. She had a bunch of other baked goods. I mean, her stuff looked, I was like, holy crap. I was like, if I had 5 pounds of butter, I was like, I would just sit here all weekend and eat.
Did you have the little hustler kids, the ones that were right across from us last time who would
That
come
was
out
my
and tag you.
grandchildren.
Dude, those guys, they were hustling. They caught me for like $50.
Oh yeah.
Do you want some delicious treats? I'm like, what do you have? We have these Rice Krispie cookies or these Fruity Pebble cookies. I'm like,
that was my grandson Jackson. He was all about it. They were like,
Oh, yeah.
sell some of this, Jackson, and he was like, all right. Anybody that walked by, he was grabbing them, selling.
He is going to be a fine capitalist one day, and I'm very proud of him.
He was hustling his little tail off.
That's awesome. Well, I'm really glad you guys had a really good show. I'm glad that you doubled your attendance and tripled your vendors. That is good news.
Yeah.
That is good news for the tour because it means one of our shows has some real staying power, and that's awesome.
Awesome.
I didn't have a complaint for the whole show. I mean, we had a couple vendors not show up, and they called me, and they're like, one lady, her husband had to have an emergency hernia surgery. And then there was another medical family emergency. And I was like, hey, that's totally understandable. Yeah. That was the only thing, the little hiccup in there. We had a couple booths that were open. But other than that, I have no complaints whatsoever.
Awesome. I'm very happy to hear that. So now that Kentucky Sustainable Living has come to a close, the next show is Self-Reliance Festival. Nicole, why don't you tell us what's going to be expected and when it's going to be?
Well, what I know is going to happen is that Jason and Shelly are going to spend the whole weekend there because they have all of the energy now that their show's done, right?
Yes.
No excuses. No excuses, guys.
I'm kidding. No, we've got a lot of stuff queued up for Self-Reliance Festival. We've got John Willis, and his title of his session is Get Up, Get Moving, and Build. And that's going to be a big Q&A session. We've got Common Sense Prepping from Angry American. I'm going to be talking about Change Your Homestead with My 3 Things. Toolman Tim's going to talk about Failing Forward. Mike Shelby will be in the house talking about how to build your local area intelligence network because you need to get good information.
Nice. Okay,
this next session I'm super excited about. Alan Booker, who is like a premier permaculturist, is his... So he's not talking about food forests. He's talking about your kitchen. How resilient is your kitchen? How do you design your kitchen if you live a permaculture life? How do you increase the resilience of your kitchen? He has, I think it's a seven-step assessment you can do for your kitchen that he's walking us through. And then he's also going to do some demos on just ways that you can prepare food that may not be the standard electric stove way. I'm super stoked about that. Nice. Chuck Peoples is talking about homestead medicine. We've got a panel called Shooting Straight. It's all girls.
Nice.
All girls who have a tendency to just call it like you see it, like Amanda Willis, Dawn Gorham. I'll be there. That's like a question and answer session. We've got a hempcrete demo, a grid down presentation from Sean Mills about how to increase your energy resilience. We've got opting out of the system with a homestead with Yoda and Grumpy. We've got conflict management. So one of the premier self-defense super violent dudes, Sonny Puzikas.
Nice. That's awesome.
He's giving a presentation on how to not get in a fight.
Yeah.
That's
because if you don't get in the fight, you don't have to fight. And I think that's awesome. He's doing a workshop on Friday before that's called Fight Like a Girl.
Okay.
We got beekeeping, plant medicine basics. We've got Radio Made Easy talking about how to develop your off-grid communications plan. Joel Riles will be there talking about how to defend your family, digital privacy and sovereignty from Sean. It's like there's a lot. I even managed to find somebody who works with animals from a natural standpoint. So she's an animal nutritionist who's going to talk about lies that the pet food industry and veterinary industry tell you. And then we're going to pair that with Nick Ferguson for feed stability on your homestead. So he's going to talk about setting up fodder systems. And of course, Andy and Doug from Hand Hewn Farm are going to be doing how to make your food taste good. Before Self-Reliance Festival, they're doing a pig processing and curing class.
That is awesome.
That's not everything, but that's a lot. And of course, we've got demos. We have an Alaskan chainsaw mill demo. We've got Bunky Life is going to be there with his, I guess it's Heartland Bunky because he has a different name now. With those, like they were at Kentucky Sustainable Living, where it's almost like Lincoln Logs for a house that you can just buy and put up on your property. Done, like a tiny house.
Yeah. And the one he had at our show, him and his 3 little kids put that thing together in no time, and I'm like,
it took them like an hour and a half to put that, which it's only like half of it. It's a demonstration thing, but it only took them like an hour and a half, 2 hours to put that together. Super easy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Combat midwife is in the house, guys.
Hey, that's our new friend.
I don't see it. Why don't I see it?
Oh, she just jumped in.
There she is. I see her.
There she is.
Hey.
Yeah, so there's a ton. We've got music on Saturday night. We've got, the dinner. We've got Taproot and Grumpy Acres are doing food, so there's gonna be some delicious food to buy, and yeah.
Awesome.
Who's your music talent this year, Nicole?
It's Sam Swanson, who he did his album release at the last one. He's coming in solo, like acoustic style. And I'm sure he'll do some originals and some covers. And there's a possibility that I'll jump up and sing with him because that usually happens, but we'll see. I have not prepared anything, so we'll see.
Will you be singing German death metal this year?
Yeah, I mean, maybe in the fall. German death metal takes a little preparation.
So there's 2 requests. It's German death metal or it's Oliver Anthony.
I tried to get Oliver Anthony to come play, and he just never answered my emails. I think
he got very overwhelmed very quickly with a lot of. I know for a fact that there was a show producer that was going to host him, and he found out that they had raised prices by like $50 per ticket, and he was like, "F this." He dropped a purple smoke grenade and just left, and had nothing to do with them. So
I saw that happen.
Yeah, and S&B Homestead Radio was just in there.
They
were there at our show and did an amazing job. They did a ham radio workshop where you actually could get your tech license or your general license at the workshop, and it went off without a hitch. I mean, it was great. Shelly said,
awesome.
So I want to ask the question that everybody watching this is wondering, Jason.
Yes.
How well does that solar panel do inside your garage?
It does. Now, straight in front of me is one of the overhead doors, and if I open it up, it will get sun.
Yeah.
So
is it hooked up to anything?
No. I've got a lithium battery company I want to start working with. I talked to him, and he's like, "We're going to ship you out some stuff and get all this solar deal set up." So as soon as I get the batteries and the charge controllers, we're going to have. There's actually 5 of those panels behind me. So they're going to be hooked up and powering part of the shop as soon as we get the batteries and the other components.
Yeah, I just had to bust your chops over that one because I'm pretty sure that's not capturing much sun right now.
When you got them for the price I got them, it won't hurt them to set for just a little bit.
Yeah. No, I had a whole pallet in my garage space for like 6 months. So
nice.
It was more of a joke, right? Because that is what happens. Because I bought a whole pallet to get a lower price and then resold them to people. Yeah.
Jason,
so do you have yours working, Nicole?
What?
You have yours working?
Yes. So here's what happened. We put in the solar system and it worked at the workshop, but we discovered wiring problems with my home, which was built, 30, 40 years ago.
Oof.
And I spent the next 9 months fixing grounding issues and other stuff so that it can work all the time. So we had to manually switch because it's on the other side of my power service. So it does not backfeed the grid at all. It just powers some things on my property.
Nice.
And it can charge from the solar panels or from the grid. Well, that whole thing where in air quotes it can charge from the solar panels or the grid, that automation took a while to get set up because of my electric wiring issues. But the electrician who fixed my stuff is super happy it's fixed because he found all sorts of chicanery here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Chicanery is one of my favorite multi-syllable words.
Ding, 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 ding,
I
ding,
was
ding,
trying
ding,
not
ding,
to
ding,
say
ding.
effery. I was like, what?
You know
word
what?
am
I
gonna use
award you
instead of that?
25 vocabulary points, and I respect your excellence.
The double syllable award goes to
I've decided
Nicole.
to be more creative than just saying the F-bomb all the time.
You know, F-bomb is fun. You can launch the B-52 F-bomber, but once in a while, you just have to use the word
I mean,
chicanery.
chicanery really describes what was going on here. So
I want to know if there's going to be any chicanery or tomfoolery on the stage whenever Nicole gets suckered into singing.
Ooh, yes.
probably there's always something going on.
Are you going to do Freebird on demand?
Oh, God, don't
Probably
do that.
not.
No. I don't care what anybody says, but Leonard Skinner.
I mean, I could bust out
rock band of all time.
Luftballon in German, and that would probably cause people to go.
Oh man.
Yeah.
So what are some of the special events we can look forward to, Nicole, at your event this year?
What do you mean special events?
Do you have anything special? Anything that's a real showstopper, an attention grabber? Who are your MCs this time?
So Toolman Tim is an MC, and Louise will be an MC this time.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be fun. I think when we get to the underground networking session, the connections sessions where we connect people, that's usually where the showstoppers are.
Yeah.
Because people come and they think they're alone in their geographical location, and they usually find somebody who they can connect with and then go home and start their thing, which is a lot of the motivation of Self-Reliance Festival. Sure, we want to learn stuff. Sure, we want to get to know people, but we want to connect people to other people near them to start other things locally,
Yes.
right? And then from there, we want to cross-pollinate localities. That's why I love doing the Great American Preparedness Tour, like how we can all work together, because we want to kind of overlap our networks and get more powerful.
Right.
So that if there's ever an issue or a problem, you can call a guy somewhere else sometimes.
Right.
And that happens almost every time you go to one of these things and there's somebody that lives 30 minutes from you.
Yeah.
And then you're able to just sort of leverage those relationships. And, we talk a lot about how the economy's failing and people are worried about supply chain issues and the monetary system and bridges being destroyed and, all of these things going on. But if you stop that fear cycle and start focusing on what you have, which are real relationships with people and doing business with each other,
yes,
you have a foundation from which you can live. Like I always sort of look at it this way. Like, you don't need to go figure out how to grow the coca bean to make the chocolate, to keep the chocolate in an SHTF situation, because chocolate is the least of your worries at that point.
Yep.
Right. And B, human beings have always figured out how to do trade.
Yep.
So you may have some crazy years, right? But we want to trade with each other. We want to trade internationally. We want to trade globally. And over time, those things come back. And if for a while they're not there, my job is not to spend most of my time figuring out how to make a cocoa bean so that I can make chocolate.
Yes.
My job is to make the best community around me that I can make, and then figure out how we can connect with other communities. And that's what I think is important.
Well, that's one of the things I take away from your show is when you get up on stage and you're like, who here, where are you from? And you force the person in that front row to raise their hand. And when they say where they're from, you force everyone else who's from that area to raise their hand. And then you say, get up and go meet them. That's probably the most magical event at Self-Reliance Festivals, when Nicole gets up there and tells people, go meet that person. They live 15 seconds from your front door. And you're absolutely correct about that.
Yeah, that's the point of going to Kentucky Sustainable Living, to going to Self-Reliance Festival, to coming to Midwest Preparedness Project Festival, is to build that hedge against not just the crap hitting the fan, but your truck breaking down in between Tennessee and Kansas, and somebody that you met at the festival helps you get your truck home, or your load home, or hauls you some grain, or whatever it is, right? Building that network, that coalition of resources and people, like you said, that you trade and barter and network with. I think that's really the magic behind setting up the tour like this.
Yep.
One of the things that I totally agree with everything that you just said, but a few years ago when we came to the first Self-Reliance Festival that Randy and I came to, one of the things that you said on stage, Nicole, was a bunch of people were there looking for community, you know, wanting to meet people from their area and everything. And you made the comment that you asked them if they knew their neighbors.
Yeah.
And you said if you don't know your neighbors, you're not interested in building community because they're right there, right next door to you.
Yeah.
And I remember you said at the very least, you need to know who the crazy people are.
Yeah.
And that really forced me to go home. And, you know, like I know the guy that lives across the street from me and the guy that lives on this side and on this side, which we live in rural Kentucky. So, you know, there are some people that are close, but it's mostly farmland. But it did force me to go out and be like, okay, this one, he is a little whatever, you know, and look at that kind of thing. And I had never thought about that until you had said that at that festival. I was like, she's absolutely right. If I don't have the initiative to go out and meet the people who live next to me who could be a problem in a bad situation or could be an asset in a bad situation, I need to know who that is.
Yeah.
Well, they don't need to know you're a prepper, right? You can just go out and say like, hey, let's have coffee sometime, or
Right.
you know, what's your biggest concern with our road? Are people driving too fast or whatever it is? You just start the conversation, and then you know when you get to know somebody, you know, you're like, okay, that one's going to be weird. Yeah, there was a point in 2020 when I went up and down the road, and I'm like, this road is not going to be passable if things get really weird. Which side of not passable do you want to be on? Do you want to be on my side or the other side?
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what are the dates for your show, Nicole? They're coming up real soon.
Oh man, so we have Easter this weekend, which is why it's not this weekend, because it's usually the last weekend of March. So it's the first weekend of April.
Okay.
After I made the big announcement from the stage last year about how it was this weekend, and somebody said, you know, that's Easter, right? And I'm like, it's the weekend after Easter now.
Yeah.
We were testing you. Good job.
Yeah.
So you get a free
I did look
token.
at the lunar calendar, so there is also an eclipse on Monday afterwards. But so it's Saturday and Sunday, April 6th and 7th, selfreliancefestival.com. If you haven't grabbed tickets, go to the website, get them. We also, of course, take walk-ons. It's going to be a good time, and your ticket includes tent camping on site. So there's a reasonably decent-sized camping area. We've set up some outdoor showers that have like the on-demand propane water heaters on them. The only time they don't work is it's usually operator error. So if you're having trouble with them, get somebody to help you get the water hot. And then, of course, you know, facilities, water, there's food vendors there. It's a fun time.
Nice. Well, awesome, guys. It sounds like the first show of the tour this spring was a success. It sounds like the second.
It was fun, man.
tour.
Here's my I didn't get to give my impression of the Midwest Preparedness Project. So I got there, and I didn't get to go last year at all. And this year I was like stoked that I could build in the spring one to my schedule. Got there, and it was fun to just walk around and talk to all the people and get to know like what people were interested in. I think you're right, Jason. You had a lot of people there who were just getting into prepping for the first time. So there was, which is always paired with a little bit of fear.
Oh, yeah.
And the power of the festival is that it like reduces the fear, because you're like, oh, okay. It's actually not all going to hell in a handbasket tomorrow. I've got time. I can do one thing at a time. I can actually see a roadmap to getting started. And I have people around me who are on my side. Because I think when people first wake up, they don't think they're on their side. And I thought you did a great job of really embracing that as part of the festival. It was really well run. And for me, it was really fun to be at something where I wasn't running it. So I actually got to talk to all the people, which was super fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
You're right.
oh! Yeah, that was great.
I know that feeling.
And that's why I'm looking forward to Midwest Preparedness Project too, because it'll be the same thing. I have a thing right after your thing, but I'm not organizing anything.
Nice.
So I'll get there. I'll be able to spend a couple days, talk to people, and like chill. And I think that's where the best relationships happen, is when you make space for that.
And people
We
don't
appreciate
realize
you
how
coming
much
to being a
work
part
goes into
of
these
it.
shows. It's a
Yeah.
lot of work.
Yeah. No, you guys did a great job. So
Thanks.
Good job, Shelly and Jason.
Thank you.
Shelly, did
what's
you
up
have
with Midwest Preparedness Project? We got to at least cover some of that.
Okay, yeah. So Midwest Preparedness Project is the final show of the spring tour. That's going to be May 7th through 12th. Patrick and I are going to be out there on the 6th doing the grunt work of pounding stakes into the ground and setting up snow fence and all that. We have moved to a new location. It's Bloomington West Campground at Clinton Lake. It's in between Topeka and Lawrence, just south of I-70. So we're right on the main corridor. And we're going to have a lot of awesome stuff. Nicole is actually our keynote speaker Saturday. You're going to have her giving a really cool speech. And you're also going to get to see her on the Freedom panel with Tag.
Yep.
All the details are at MidwestPreparednessProject.com. They're on our Facebook, our Discord, and our YouTube. So go check all of those things out. Patrick, what are some of the things you think are going to be awesome about this spring?
Again, aside from having the Freedom panel, aside from having Nicole Sauce, like in the flesh, I heard there's a rumor that Shelly and, maybe Jason might show up and grace us with their presence. So you guys, just so you know, Shelly, we have a local shoot house putting on a women's self-defense class. And if you've never kicked a dude in his junk before, this is your chance.
Yes.
I am there.
I'm no bone.
Do I?
He's
Randy
like,
just said
I'm
he's not
there.
Volunteer. So do I get to pick who I do that to? Is there?
Maybe you might be able to let talk to the guys. Can you let my husband put the suit on? Do you have Jason try this cod piece on?
I'll tell you what, I will make a bet with the audience on Saturday morning. The first person to come up to me and buy $100 in opportunity tickets for the giveaway, will get to kick me in the junk. I will put the red man suit on and let you kick me square in the junk.
There it is. It's like the clown booth, but you get to kick him in the jimmy.
Yep.
Hey, I've got bruises on my arm from where Shelly hit me all weekend because somebody would come. No kidding. Somebody would come and ask me a question that.
my God.
And it was like about paying and buying tickets, and Shelly handles all that. I was like, I don't know. Go ask Shelly. So I told somebody else, and now it became a joke. Everybody would be like, Shelly, we need to know this. I'd already told them, and she's like, stop asking people to ask for stuff. And she come up and just smacked the piss out of me every time. And I'm like, damn.
Yeah. Shelly was just keeping you in check. That's all.
Yep.
We're gonna have shirts that say "Just Ask Shelly."
Hey, they say $200, no red suit.
Do what?
$200, no red suit.
$200, no red suit.
Oh, I paid $200.
You know what? I've had 4 kids. Do it. $200.
Oh, this is starting. This is a family-friendly show.
Yeah, so we're empowering young women to learn how to take on dudes twice their size. I will martyr myself for that cause.
Yeah, but
they might need good aim too.
Yeah, well, he you know what? If he's going to give me $200, he can let his wife kick me in the junk.
Dean might be like an Australian power lifter that can kick a field goal from 300 yards away.
Look, there's a thing called terminal velocity. You can only fall so fast.
All right.
So, it's only going to hurt to a certain point that I pass out. And you all
You're
laugh
not
at me.
going to have any more kids, right? You're not having any more kids, right?
Nope.
So there you go.
Not after
He
that.
gets kicked in the junk.
Oh.
How did we end up here?
I don't know.
Jason Sparks, you're asking yourself that question, aren't you?
Yeah.
What have you all done with your life to
I'm
this
just
point to
thinking you
wind
gotta
up in a
have good
place
aim.
where you're betting money on kicking a dude in the junk?
No.
What do you say, Jason?
To train me how to do it, I think I'd have good aim.
Yeah.
Yep. So anyway, what else do we have coming up? We have some pretty neat stuff this year.
We do. We have a plethora of giveaways. We have a cornucopia See, look at that.
Vocabulary
Double.
points. Look at this.
I'm trying to catch up with Nicole. We have a plethora of giveaway items this year, all kinds of good stuff. So Life Done Free is giving away. I think he's already announced it, right? So
he did talk about it. Yeah, Life Done Free is going to be doing they're live from the stage as the final event on Saturday, and they're going to be giving away 2 solar generators,
Lion Energy, yeah.
One to the crowd that's present and one to the crowd that's watching the live online. And this is not one you have to buy tickets for, folks. You just have to be there. I can't sell free to you any more than I can do right now.
Like, for real. Like, if you don't want like something for free, I mean, I don't know what to tell you.
Then go to Russia, where dark humor is like food. Not everybody gets it.
It's a true story. Have a nice day. Yeah, have a nice. As always, safety is number 1 priority.
Awesome.
Now, we've put out the event schedule, right? So you guys know the 3 events that happen on Saturday, the 3 events that happen on Friday. We've put out the special event on Thursday. We've put out the list of special events for Friday and Saturday. But there is a rumor that Tag made a phone call and that there might be an additional special event on Saturday. So keep watching our Facebook, our YouTube, and our Discord, and all of the ancillary stuff like MeWe and Freesteading and X, where we have accounts too. There might very well be something that is super special that's going to be occurring Saturday. Just keep that in mind.
Now, we've not released the kids' class schedule yet.
No, Christy got the finalized children's events schedule to me. I will be releasing it probably next week. We'll probably wait till Monday or Tuesday. Let everyone have the weekend to go do SRF stuff. And we'll release the information. But yeah, there's a whole lineup of children's events that our youth coordinator Christy has going on. Your kids are going to get to do ridiculously fun things this year
and win some cool stuff.
They're going to win some. Yeah, we're actually doing something new this year that we have never done before. The children's giveaway is going to happen before the adult giveaway from the main stage. So all the kids are going to get to rush up to the front with their little tickets that they got, doing all the kids events and be there and be all like Nicole with a lamb on her. You know, it's going to be awesome.
Now, the reason why this matters is because going into Saturday night, we have this thing called Bartertown, which I think Nicole got to experience last time she was there.
No, you missed. She left right before it.
That's right. We
she
took her to the airport.
I get to experience it this year.
You do. You do. All right. So good. So that's why this is important, is because this gives the kids the opportunity to have something tangible or real to come into Bartertown with, because generally we'll have, I mean, it's amazing. You see kids with like half-eaten s'mores or bottles of Gatorade. They're trying to trade you for a box of 9mm Luger plus P or something. And you're like, come back with 2 s'mores and a half-eaten Slim Jim, and you got a deal.
And your dad's scotch. Bring your dad's scotch.
Yeah, tell your dad I want to toot off his scotch, and you got a deal.
Yeah.
But this is good. Yeah.
Yep. We have some really cool stuff. And this year, what we're really proud, one thing we've done this year that we've purposely tried to do is we've tried to create better than 50% of the speakers are going to be females. It's not just, again, look, dude, I am a traditional guy. I love dudes with beards who talk about guns and bug out bags, but I am also sincerely bored of dudes with beards talking about guns and bug out bags. We have to get the other half of the homestead invested and involved, because frankly, women run prepping. They always have. Even back to the days when I ran the Kansas Prepper Expo and Full Spectrum Preparedness. And I've said this a million times. The guy comes in and is like, and runs straight to the gun table. And you see the wife with one kid in her arm and pushing a baby stroller, casually going by the essential oils and the freeze-dried food and the water purifiers and the Berkey table and all this stuff. And the guy...
She's taking inventory.
Yeah. An hour later, the guy is still looking at the AR-15, and she's already picked out 7 things she wants. And he'll walk up to her like, can I get the AR-15? And she's like, yes, but only if I can spend as much money on all this other stuff. And he's like, done. And he just runs over and picks up that AR-15. But she gets all the other life-saving stuff that actually is going to save the family's lives. And we have to engage the female side of prepping. And so this year we're really working to do that. And you're going to see that in the giveaway too. We have a lot more female-centric prizes as well.
We do, yeah. Yep. there's some cool stuff in there. It's a vast again cornucopia of dude stuff, but it's actually very I guess female centered.
Yeah, we have a Riverside Survival Supply. One of our sponsors has given us a whole canning set.
A huge
so a canning
bath,
supply
section,
all the tools, 4 flats of jars, a seed bank to go with it, and the ball canning book. And I'm not gonna spoil too much more because I haven't put the graphics out and released it, but we have a lot more cool stuff for everybody, and we're gonna continue with that specific vein. Yeah, Grumpy Acres, Yoda is giving us a solar oven. We're going to be giving a solar oven away. I believe that's slated for Saturday, but don't hold me to that. Either day, you're going to get it, and it's going to be awesome.
Ladies need to be represented, Combat Wife. You're right, 100%.
Yep.
It is inclusive.
So what I would say is we are getting to the end of the hour. So Nicole, since your show is next, why don't you start out with closing us out?
Well, guys, if you haven't gotten your tickets to Self-Reliance Festival, it's April 6th and 7th, selfreliancefestival.com. It's in Camden, Tennessee. It includes camping. If you get your Saturday, Sunday ticket, you can come Friday and camp. There are workshops in advance that usually include lunch. And you can camp a little longer if you come to those, but it's going to be a good time. We're really looking forward to it. My whole team is like, woof. And I just found out today something that I did not know was going to happen, but Mama Sauce is going to be on site, which she has not been around for about a year.
Mama Sauce
will be on site. Check it out. Selfreliancefestival.com for that.
And sign up for Chuck Peoples, Homestead Medical. He has an
100%.
amazing workshop. Sign up for that.
There are a few seats left.
Chuck!
Yeah, there's a video out there you should go watch on YouTube after you guys get done with this and you're sitting there in bed drinking hot chocolate or whatever it is that you do for your warm down like routine. It's a video like, what is it? I forget what the title was, but if you carry a firearm.
If you carry a firearm but not medical, then well, cover your ears. Fuck you.
Yeah,
it's a good video.
Yeah, you should go watch it. Our buddy Chuck and Sam.
And Sam Russell and myself, we discussed it in quite depth.
It's funny. You get 3 bearded dudes drinking bourbon together, and all of a sudden they're like, tourniquet.
Chuck does the best medical class that you'll ever go to.
He does. He absolutely does.
Absolutely the best.
Yep.
Awesome.
Cool.
All right, Shelly and Jason, what do you got to close out?
We don't have too much. We've got our fall date is October 26th and 27th. I know it's a while away, but look on Facebook and look on the website, KentuckySustainableLiving.com. We'll be posting updates. We've already started planning the fall show. So
if you didn't make it to our festival last weekend and you want a poker chip, you can go to SRF and then go to Midwest and come to ours in the fall and get your poker chip anytime this year. All 3 of these groups have 2 festivals this year. So you have 6 opportunities to get those chips.
Yeah. And for those of you who have come in late and don't understand, each show on the Great American Preparedness Tour has 2 shows, a fall and a spring show.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is attend one of those shows for each of the shows. Topeka, Lawrence, Camden, Tennessee, and Bowling Green, Kentucky. You just have to attend one of each of those shows and you collect this. You have to go up to the show promoters to ask for these. We're not just handing them out. And whoever at the end of the year, by the end of October, early November, can prove that they have all 3 will get the Mora knife. That's the limited edition Mora knife that's laser engraved with the Great American Preparedness Tour.
Yep. Be a part of a select few, guys.
Why don't you guys wrap it up and we'll head on to greener pastures.
Yeah, so everybody out there, again, go to selfreliancefestival.com, check that out. Get your tickets if you can't. Catch them in the fall. If you can't, catch Kentucky Sustainable Living. Come here to Kansas. Check us out here in the Midwest. Just do more today than you did yesterday and try to do the same thing tomorrow, guys. Go out there and be better and have a good night.
Yep.
All right.
Thanks, folks.
Thank you, everyone.
Soon.
Thanks, guys.
See y'all.
Bye.